Boy, I can't wait to beat this G player who I've already made assumptions about because of his rank. Round start low, huh? Yep, this is platinum. No anti-airs, as expected. Wait a minute. That's 2 anti-airs now. We might have a Smurf on our hands. Yep, Smurf confirmed. See, you can tell he's a Smurf because he made competent choices, and only Smurfs can make competent choices at low ranks. And this is exactly why I can't rank up in this game. I only lose to Smurfs that I shouldn't have to play against. What is more likely, that I'm losing to genuinely low-ranked players, or there's an elaborate scheme in place specifically designed to keep players like me from ranking up with no other tangible benefit? Or maybe I'm just bad. We see these posts all over social media about ranked being infested with Smurfs, hell-bent on gatekeeping and keeping the lower ranks full. I decided to go undercover and prove these things false for myself and demonstrate the effect a Smurf account has on the rookie to silver environment in one sitting. The rules were simple. I had to run back if the connection was playable and stop as soon as I hit silver. This took me 46 minutes and 31 seconds of real time and around 22 minutes of in-game match time. I was planning to use Minot, but I thought her playstyle might result in more rage quits, so I went with Chun, a character I suck at but I know a bit about. Throughout the session, I was surprised that all of my opponents opted for runbacks except for one who ironically was the one that came the closest to beating me, and I did have one rage quit. Without these setbacks, I could have cleared this much faster. I use silver as my stopping point, as escaping bronze is most of what I see when this topic is discussed. So, was I gatekeeping? And if I was, how much damage could I have really caused in such a short time? If I ever get back on this account, bronze players will never have to play me, and I only encountered 10 of those players in that time if you count the rage quit. The point is, I moved through the ranks so fast it's unlikely anyone would notice. If they look at my CFN and see 100% win rate, it's obvious that I'm a Smurf. But if I wanted to gatekeep, how would I stay in these low ranks? Street Fighter V's ranking system is simple. You can only get matched up versus anyone in the rank below you, up to the rank above you, until you hit Diamond, when you can get paired up against anyone above you. This means the player pools are much larger at lower ranks. Proof of concept, I used my barely Diamond account to see how many players are ranked above me. For simplicity, we'll say this is an even 31,000 players above Diamond. Then I looked at a random account with 0 LP to see how many players were ranked above him. Looking at these numbers can tell us a lot. Hypothetically, if everyone Diamond and up made new accounts and played those Smurf accounts simultaneously, they would only make up 2% of the player pool, and these Smurfs would be unlikely to face each other with those odds. Obviously, this assumes that everyone in the player pool is playing ranked, but that's what hypotheticals are for. But let's say you did want to make a Smurf account with only the intention of preventing other players from ranking up. How would you do it? You would have to be playing all the time without ranking up. So you would have to win without ranking up somehow. In older versions of the game, you could sort of do this by rage quitting. Not only could your rage quit prevent a rank up, but you would also get an LP penalty. This would be great for maintaining a high win rate and staying within the same league that you're trying to gatekeep. But now the only penalty is being banned from the server for a time. This means that you're unable to gatekeep, and people are ranking up in your absence. The only way to lose LP now is to lose, so now you're throwing away matches on purpose to stay low ranked, so you can gatekeep other people. It's almost like this entire idea is counterproductive, and the entire concept of a gatekeeper is a straw man constructed by fragile egos that can't handle losing in video games. Long story short, gatekeeping isn't possible in this game in the long term. You can't rank up because of the mistakes you're making that you don't realize. Maybe you're on autopilot more than you realize, maybe you're not being optimal with your opportunities, or maybe you just aren't playing enough, but I promise you, Smurfs are not the reason you are stuck in a certain rank. You might encounter them on occasion, but they are moving out of your pool too fast for it to be a major contributing factor. As a small aside, I was unable to play Street Fighter V Online until mid-2017 when I moved to a new city with serviceable internet speeds. I lived there for 6 months and reached Diamond rank before moving again, and my system was simple. If I lost a match, I wouldn't play another until I studied it and found out what I was doing wrong, even if I didn't think I made any mistakes, and I would hit the lab to work on what I found. Most of the work was getting rid of bad habits. It's my belief that you can't develop good habits in the presence of bad habits. I struggled like everyone else does, but I reached my goal of hitting Diamond before Season 3 dropped. What I've learned from sharing this method with others is most people don't want to do it because they are comfortable. Unfortunately, you cannot grow within comfort. They would give me excuses like, well, that's just how I play. And I want to emphasize this. Saying, this is how I do things is a cop-out. If what you are doing feels natural to you and it's your first instinct to do it that way, that's fine in the beginning. But once these things are brought to your attention and explained why they are bad or suboptimal, keeping them as part of your playstyle is a choice. And it's a choice you're making because you prioritize comfort over growth. So don't be surprised if you stagnate. The last point I want to make before moving on to some tips to help players get out of bronze is one of my rules for life in general, not just fighting games, and it's to keep your emotions in check, or at least not do or say dumb things when your emotions are elevated. The lengths the ego will go to in order to defend itself is astounding. People lose in video games and construct a conspiracy in their head that it's all an elaborate scheme to prevent them from winning. It sounds more ridiculous out loud, doesn't it? There's nothing wrong with being upset over a loss. That's a natural and valid emotional response. But people perform invalid actions on valid emotions all the time. Just because you have the right to feel that way doesn't mean you have the right to act on it however you see fit. Next time you're about to hit post on that 200-word essay about the Smurf you just lost to, just use your time more wisely and watch the tape instead. Maybe, just maybe, you did something wrong. As for my tips to get out of bronze, I only have 2, and it's pretty much all I've been doing throughout this video. Number 1 is anti-air. Jumping is all the rage in bronze and up, and being able to anti-air is a massive advantage. I know this one is particularly annoying to hear for a player that can't get out of bronze, but if you are stuck in bronze, it's very unlikely that you are anti-airing consistently, and therefore it would bear repeating. But people also train anti-airs poorly all the time. I see people suggest insane amounts of repetition as the only answer, and this is just lazy in my opinion. These exercises only teach you how to anti-air on a predictable cadence, not how to react to a random jump and punish it. This exercise is good for brand new players that need to get used to the visuals, however, so there is some merit. However, I recommend this instead. Set the dummy to playback recording and record 4 random actions. They can be anything from dashing, walking, or performing normals, just no jumping. If you have anything else you would like to also practice against during the training session, put it here. On the final recording, record a forward jump with your opponent's best jump in normal. For my example, I want to work on checking Ken's run while also working on my anti-airs, and the other 3 recordings are just walking. Because my anticipation is split between 2 things and I have no way of knowing which one is coming, I'm training my actual reactions instead of just anti-airing a dummy that's constantly jumping. My last tip for anti-airing is to attempt them every time. Most people react in time to anti-air, but they hesitate and second guess. There's no room for doubt, there's only time to react with your anti-air, so trust your reactions and get the experience in live matches. If you want a lower stress environment for this, play casual matches with the sole purpose of anti-airing and don't worry about winning or losing. Number 2 is to meaty. If you have meaties, your opponents are essentially dead after the first knockdown. Set the dummy to wake up with a 3-frame normal and practice your meaty setups versus quick rise and back roll. After that, it's just a matter of noting your opponent's wake up tendencies. Meaties are more effective if you have solid combos to recreate the knockdown situation. If you want to practice this, you can train by setting the dummy to wake up 3-frame and wake up block and only going for your meaty combo on hit. This alone will get you out of bronze, but you will have to revisit this skill later and optimize it in the higher ranks. The more damage you deal on each opportunity, the less likely your opponent's comeback is. That's it for this week's video. My next video will be revisiting the Why No One Uses series, and we'll be covering Cammy's V-Trigger 2. After that, there will be a poll between the topics that lost the last poll, which resulted in this video, those topics being meter management and character selection. Comment below on what you would like to see on the channel, and consider subscribing if you enjoy the content. According to my analytics, 80% of my viewers aren't currently subscribed. It really helps out the channel, so it would really be appreciated. I'm also streaming on my Twitch channel, but unfortunately due to low rural internet quality, fighting games are kind of out of the question for streaming at the moment, so I'll mostly be sticking to single player content like Dark Souls, Pokemon Nuzlocke, and the like. If you have any questions about this video or anything at all, post in the comments, and if you're just discovering the channel, check out my other videos and my clips channel for my short form content. Thanks for watching.